My story takes place June of 2022. It happened at Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, at a 5-star resort. We were invited by some of my husband's friends, and it was a quick 3-day vacation. We were excited. We arrived. The resort was beautiful, picturesque. It was busy with summer travelers. As we checked in, the front desk informed us that there was a room ready for us on the first floor, but if we waited until 4 o'clock, they could offer us a suite with an ocean view. So of course, we were going to take that. We accepted the offer, and we decided to wait till 4 p.m. We hung out by the pool, had some snacks, just enjoyed the sun. At 4 p.m., we were given our key and we went up to the suite. As soon as I walked in, I was like, something doesn't feel right here. I really don't know what it was. It just felt very cold. Too much of a contrast from the sunny outside to almost like an icebox. I thought, maybe it's just the AC. Then I noticed that there was this large chair that was positioned in the middle of the hallway, blocking the adjacent room. Sometimes in those hotels, you can open up 2 suites and hang out in both areas. I tried moving that chair out of the way, but it was so heavy, it just wasn't going to happen. We walked into the bedroom suite. There was 2 queen beds. They were pushed all the way along to the walls. One of the beds was blocking the closet door. It's very weird. The other was pushed all the way against the other wall, and it was blocking an entrance to the adjacent restroom. I thought that's odd way to arrange a bedroom, but okay. My husband was really excited. He was opening up the curtains, excited about that ocean view, which was beautiful, ocean crashing. You can see the pools beneath us. We dropped off our luggage and we went to go enjoy the pool. We didn't return to the room until well past midnight. We showered, got ready for bed. I was very fussy. I was struggling to sleep. I was tossing and turning and tossing and turning. Finally, I just started drifting off to sleep. I began to have this nightmare. In this nightmare, there was something, a presence on the right side of my body. It wasn't anything, but it was the feeling that something was there. In this dream, I was just searching through a very dark room, through a darkness. My hands were in front of me. I was looking for a light switch. As soon as I reached for that light switch, I felt it, and something grabbed my right wrist violently, pulled me to the left. At that time, I awoke with this gasp. My right hand was actually over my husband's body, and I was on top of him. I startled him awake. He just said, you're okay. Stay calm. You had a nightmare. He kind of just tried soothing me. But I was not about to go back to sleep. I stayed awake until I saw that sunrise. It could have been around 4 a.m. Day 2, we're out all day in the sun, having fun, eating, drinking. We go back to the room well past midnight. As I'm in the restroom, getting ready for bed, my husband starts turning off all the lights, making sure all the doors are locked, curtains are shut. He comes to the door of the restroom and says, "Have you been there the entire time?" I let him know that I was. I'll hurry up so he can brush his teeth and get ready for bed. But he has this look on his face like something is not okay. He says, "Swear to me, you've been in the restroom the whole time." I'm like, "Yes, I swear I've been in the restroom the whole time." "What's going on?" He says, "I was waiting for you in the bedroom, and I started noticing that the lights started turning off one by one by one by one." This is impossible because in the suite, there was a living room area, a kitchen area, a hallway, and there was about 8 or 9 light switches. They all were together, not one by one. I didn't know what to say to him. He just said, "Do you believe me?" Of course I believe you. I shared with him, ever since we got here, I just don't know about this room. I have a really weird feeling. I'm quite sensitive to paranormal activity. I do a lot of energy work. I'm open to all sorts of occult things. Something was off in that space. That night, we both had a really difficult time sleeping. As soon as we saw the sunlight, we were out that door. Our final day there, it was the same as the previous days. Out all day, back well past midnight. And we were both nervous and uncomfortable, but it was our last night, so whatever, let's just enjoy. I began to fall asleep. I was so fatigued from the lack of sleep of the previous days. I began to have that similar nightmare as the first night. I'm in a dark room. I'm looking for a light switch. Then something starts grabbing my right wrist. This time is different. My right wrist is being squeezed. It is going from my wrist to my elbow to my shoulder. It's starting to get painful. I'm trying to wake up, but I'm experiencing sleep paralysis. I get really upset, almost like a switch flipped. I was no longer fearful. I was upset that this entity was touching me. I began calling for my guardian angels. I called protective ancestors. I also Catholic, so I called for Archangel Michael. I really demanded for this entity to release me and not touch me. It had crossed a boundary. At that moment, I awake with this deep gasp. I sit up straight, look at my right arm. It is red and it hurts. As my husband awakes as well, I show him my arm. He holds me and he says, "Okay, it's 6 a.m. Let's pack up. Let's get out of here." I am really upset that this entity is messing with me. I let my husband know I'm not scared right now. I'm not afraid. I want to check in through meditation to see what is going on in this room. I'm able to look up what is called the Akashic records of people, businesses, places. That is like a library of the universe, all records that have been, will be, and are. Through meditation, I can get information. So I called for some spiritual protection and I began checking in. What's going on here? I see messages of an image of a young woman. She was sexually assaulted in that room. That's what I'm getting. It seemed like she was drunk and she was taken there. She willingly went with this young man, but she wasn't ready to be intimate. She just wanted to hang out. The guy held her down during this assault. That's why my arm was being held down. I started inquiring about the lights, what was going on with the lights in the bedroom. The information that I received there was that it was actually my husband's guardian, his mother, who has transitioned. The lights turning on were to protect us so that if the lights were on, we really wouldn't have experienced any of that energy. What I had really experienced in that room was the residual energy of that young woman. I felt much better once I knew what I had experienced. I cleansed myself when I got home. I made sure that there was no energy that attached itself to me or my husband. I began sharing this experience with some of my friends who are healers and birth workers, doulas. They let me know that because I'm now practicing this type of meditation and can channel, I'm kind of like a little antenna, and my Wi-Fi is on, and I can see or sense various energies. Due to this, I have to carry spiritual protection when I stay or I go places that have a lot of energy, such as hotels, hospitals, or historical sites. This also came into play when I went to Las Vegas later on that fall, where I had taken some of my protection with me, and it flew across the room while I was sleeping, and I wasn't bothered at all. That was pretty wild. I went to Las Vegas November of 2022. I brought my little pouch of protective herbs. A friend of mine had sent me a little jar of yarrow. Yarrow is a flower, an herb that is for fevers, for stopping bleeding, but energetically it's for protection and for boundaries. And she said that was very helpful to her when she travels. So I brought that little bottle with me and had a fantastic time with my friends. In the evening, I placed my little protective pouch next to the dresser next to me, and I put the bottle of yarrow flower essence next to me, and I blissfully went to bed. I don't know what time it could have been in Vegas, all hours of the day. People are going in and out of the casinos. I heard while I was sleeping this loud crash, but I assume it was someone walking by and had knocked on our door accidentally, stumbling to their room. Didn't really pay any mind. The morning we awoke, I noticed that my little pouch was on the floor next to my bed. I figured, oh, maybe it slithered out from the dresser. I was walking towards the restroom, which is next to the door of the hotel, and I see my little bottle of yarrow in front of the door. It is absolutely impossible that that little bottle could have gotten there on its own, because that was a good 8 feet away, 8 feet in a diagonal to the left. I woke my husband up and I said, hey, did you happen to pick up my little bottle? Which I knew he hadn't. That would have been odd of him. He just looked at me and said, no, I didn't touch your things. I just picked it up and just laughed, because I felt it was that crash that I had heard in the evening was that little bottle rolling to the front of the room, where maybe there was some energy that was not very light near me. I now always carry my little pouch and my little bottle whenever I'm going to stay in spaces that are of high energy. We are all so sensitive. I think it's just, we always know if something's off, but we don't trust our instinct of what it is. We kind of just feel, I'm off, It's not the room. I used to travel a lot, and I had always had a hard time sleeping in hotel rooms the very first night. At that time, I didn't understand, why do I have such trouble sleeping? My justification used to be, well, I'm not in my bed. But it's more than that. It's all the people's energy that have been in that space that are making you restless. I would recommend get maybe an obsidian or onyx and rub that over the bed, just to absorb any energy that was left behind in that bed, because we can't do a smoke cleanse in a non-smoking room. Another thing that I would probably do is agua de Florida, Florida water. That is used for cleansing. I pack that in a little spray bottle and spray to try to get it a little bit more calm and clear. Some people use vibration, like a little bell. The sound and the vibration kind of clears things away, but it's really our intention of, I don't want to be bothered, and I'm just clearing away anything that doesn't belong to me. I don't want anything to attach and come with me. I just want the rest. Those travelers, I think, need to be very conscious of your spiritual hygiene, because it is definitely real, and especially for people that are more attuned. I gotta I got to spray myself down. I got to, whatever, if you are of the Catholic faith, get yourself a little bit of holy water, just rub yourself with your hands. Something that you know is intentional, that I'm cleaning. I'm not attaching to the story. I'm not attaching to anything with this, and fresh and clean all the time. I'm totally just learning this stuff. I come from a strong Catholic background, which I still am, a cultural Catholic, but I'm also open to just all the beautiful and bizarre, universal things that there's more than we could ever comprehend. But the more you know, the more you have to be conscious of, okay, I'm not feeling weird for no reason. There's something. My body, my cells are telling me something's off. I need to trust myself.